His Divine Guru Srila Vedavyasapriya Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. His Gone Liberty Founder Acharya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajavacharya Stutara Srila Srila. His Divine Guru Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Jaya. Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jaya. Prem se Kausa Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Vedanta Shivaswati Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jaya. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Kiri Gaurtam ki Jaya. Prajam Vrindavan Dham ki Jaya. Nityananda Dham ki Jaya. Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jaya. Ganga Mai ki Jaya. Jamuna Mai ki Jaya. Dev ki Jaya. Tulsi Maharani ki Jaya. Samavita Bhaktivinoda ki Jaya. Jai Gaur Premanand. All glories to Samudra. All glories to Samudra. All glories to Samudra. Glories to Shri Shri Guru. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter number 22, and text number 33. Artha, Indriya Artha, Abhidhyanam, Sarva Artha, Apanhanva, Nranam, Brahmsitah, Jnana, Vijnana, Yena, Avishati, Mukhyatam. Arthendriyartha Vidyanam Sarvartha Apanhavo Nranam Brahmasito Jnanam Vijnanat Yena Vishati Mukhyatam. Artha means riches, Indriya Artha for satisfaction of the senses, Abhidhyanam constantly thinking of, Sarva Artha, 4 kinds of achievement, Apanhanva, destructive, Nranam, of human society, Brahmashita, being devoid of, Jnana, knowledge, Vijnana, devotional service, Yena, by all this, Avishati enters Mukhyatam, immovable life. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. For human society, constantly thinking of how to earn money and apply it for sense gratification brings about the destruction of everyone's interest. When one becomes devoid of knowledge and devotional service, he enters into species of life just like those of trees and stones. Jnana or knowledge means to understand one's constitutional position, and Vijnana refers to the practical application of the knowledge in life. In the human form of life, one should come to the position of Jnana and Vijnana. Jnana Vijnana Sahitam Yat Gyatva Mukshasya Shubha. So, but despite this great opportunity, if one does not develop knowledge and practical application of the knowledge through the help of the spiritual master and the Shastras, In other words, if one misuses this opportunity, then in the next life, he is sure to be born in a species of non-moving living entities. Non-moving living entities includes hills, mountains, trees, plants, etc. This stage of life is called punyatam or mukhyatam, namely making all activities zero. Philosophers who support stopping all the activities are called shunyavadi. By nature's own way, our activities are to be gradually diverted to devotional service. But there are philosophers who, instead of purifying their activities, try to make everything zero or void in all activities. This lack of activity is represented by the trees and hills. This is a kind of punishment inflicted by the laws of nature. If we do not properly execute our mission of life and the self-realization, nature's punishment will render us inactive by putting us in the form of trees and hills. Therefore, activities directed towards self-gratification are condemned herein. One who is constantly thinking of activities to earn money and gratify the senses is following a path which is suicidal. Actually, all human society is following this path. Some way or other, people are determined to earn money, to get money by begging, borrowing or stealing, and applying that for sense gratification. Such a civilization is the greatest obstacle in the path of self-realization. Wow, solid. I should have included this in the slideshow as a culmination. This is great. I'm trying to refer the previous slok of yesterday, where Natah parataro loke punsam swartha vyatikrama yadadhyanyasya preyastvatmatmanah swavyatikrama. There is no stronger obstruction to one's self-interest than thinking other subject matter to be more pleasing than one's own self-realization. Right? Where human life is especially meant for self-realization. The self refers to super self as well as the individual self. So, and they are close, so much close to each other. So much close to each other. Yet both are different. Right? It is said that the super self is even smaller than the smallest it can become. The smallest we were thinking that we are the self, we have virtually no significance in this material. But super self can become smallest. And he can stay within the heart of that self. Hare Krishna. So, what a tremendous distance created between the two by forgetfulness. Yeah? Even though they are closest. Therefore, in Upanishad, he is near as well as far. So, self-realization is very important in order to realize the super self. It is by realizing the super self first, the self will be recognized. Otherwise, we have no way independent of super self to realize. So that much dependency, utter dependency we have to. On our own, we were born in the darkness of ignorance. And our spiritual master is opening up our eyes. So in the subject matter of self-realization, what is happening in human society is slipping. I mean, they are constantly thinking how to earn money and apply it for sense gratification, bring about the destruction of everyone's interest. Why? Because everyone is going to compete. Everyone is led into mad race of earning more and more by hook or crook. In India, there is a fever. A person is having a main job there, but he does a side job too, of being a middleman, an agent, and extract money. I'll get you this thing done. Alright? Every other person is looking for some extra interest. I have seen even illiterate people have gone to developing countries like Panama with a lot of resources, but they go as a money lender. And poor people there, they work hard and they don't have money, so they give them cash, they trust them and they build the relationship. There is no bank guarantee, there is no nothing, but this is how they earn money. But they have their main job also. They have their business, but become money lender. So the idea is that when it reaches to the common man, the competition for survival of the fittest is artificially created. And that competition is dangerous for everyone. And everyone's money is being controlled by the bank, and finally the buck stops here. That is the government. And government becomes defunct, bankrupt, and they will make everybody bankrupt. Other nations are also being affected because they have the so-called business ties, and all of a sudden, money doesn't have a value. So Krishna is teaching this practical knowledge of application of self-realization is called practical knowledge. Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyami suyave. And this knowledge is, again he says, Jnana Vijnana Sahitam Yagyatva Mokshasya Prabhat. Ashubh means inauspicious. So, if the practical knowledge about self-realization is not applied in one's life, then everything is inauspicious for everybody. So, Prabhupada is telling, Gyan or knowledge means to understand one's constitutional position. To understand is to understand about our constitutional position, not any other upadhis that we have collected. That is the real knowledge. And Vijnana refers to practical application of that knowledge. The constitutional position and constitutional service. If we give up, then we give up means when we forget. Then we will end up serving anything else other than Krishna. And that service is completely meaningless. Yesterday that Mataji was asking about welfare activities. Welfare activities are not based on constitutional positions, then the knowledge about constitutional position. is not based on that. It starts from other end, which is generated by themselves. Why there is poverty, why there is disturbances? Because man has indulged in the workings of nature. The poor gets poorer, they will be most affected. But the money and extraction of the money is done by the richer. Right? So, they start other way around. The philanthropists or welfare workers, they start other way around. They do not start with self-realized knowledge. A self-realized person understanding his constitutional position and the activity to be done in that. That is Gyan and Vigyan of self-realization has to be applied. It doesn't start from there. They are ignorant of that. So they start on the result that they have created themselves. They are responsible of it. They are responsible. It is said in the Grahastha life especially, where this Artha Kam are most predominant activity for the Grahasthas. But if they keep on doing for the Grahastha life, it's Artha and Kam only, then they are devoid of their constitutional positions knowledge. And they will do neither good for themselves, not for others. It is such a mad situation. You can see yesterday in the program, people were obsessed, not in the evening program, but we had one in the morning program. There was a house opening, and we saw that we went just to encourage, but at the same time we saw that they were into sense gratificatory activities. But just to give them benefit, because they are pious anyway. But they don't understand the constitutional position. And I saw the slideshow. And I was heavy in punching to that. You know? Then, but if this would happen, then I want to include this, you know, that how they are not doing any good for themselves or for others. That will be a very appropriate thing. I'll include that. So the thing is that the mother was pious, but at the same time, let's see, whatever the things are. And we had to make them stand up, chant, dance, and everybody was thinking that this is a good sense gratification. So anyway, that was the trick. But somehow they ended up chanting. You know, I called specifically for young generation. They came because I wanted to show slideshow, but gradually they sneaked out. But anyway, things are to be understood on they are probably too much immature about understanding anything about Kali Yuga, because they are so much obsessed that the path is destructive path of getting, you know, over accumulating. When they hear all this, they it is not meant for me. They will go away. So somehow the middle way has to be taken to penetrate and then start eating where it is, you know, because they will have problems too. But Bill said that they created the problem. Now you want us to handle? Our process is to apply the self-realization in our life to become exemplary, and we will not trouble anybody. We'll be satisfied for whatever pious people are going to give us and sustain the process of devotional service, because it is an interaction, it is a mutual thing. And they understand that part. It is not that we are going to live at the cost of that society. But the problems they have, what they will say? No, they will not understand anything. But if a naughty boy is there, they will bring, Maharaj, isko ashirvad de do. Please give him benediction, blessings, that he will become a good boy. He is troubling us. From that,